Hi guys, it's Ray. Welcome back to my channel, Ray's Turquoise Turtle. Happy New Year. Trying to get to my thing to turn this on. I'm going to do an alcohol and grain technique tumbler today. I'm going to use these new inks from HTVRont that I ordered off of Amazon. I want to try out one of their metallics. Interestingly, their metallics don't have a BB in them, so I'm not sure if they're going to be less metallic overall or not. So I will still make sure I shake it really, really well, but I'm also going to use bluish violet, purple, and sapphire blue out of the box I got. So I have this is from the Epoxy Candy Store. It's an alcohol manipulator. It should help set the metallic in place if it works like the Ranger one. I'm running low on the Ranger one. I haven't ordered more yet, so I'm going to use that. And this is just 91% alcohol. I can't find my little squeeze bottle that I normally use, so I put some in this bottle. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to get everything opened. And we'll get going. This is going to be an incomplete cup. Just because I have a bunch of new vinyls coming from HTVRont. I have a set that's already here that they sent me, but I also ordered a bunch of their other vinyls, and I'd like to kind of test them all together. So I'm going to do a couple cups and then come in and do like a decal day. So first things first, I'm going to sprinkle alcohol all over this tumbler. And I know some people really hate this technique and think it's wasteful, but I like this technique, so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to do the purple in the top section. And then I'm going to do the sapphire in the middle, I think. And then I'm going to do the bluish violet towards the bottom. And I'm going to overlap them a little bit in their quadrants, of course. And because I don't know if this is going to be thicker or thinner, I mean, it goes on very metallic, so it should be fine. I'm going to come in with a little more alcohol, I think. I normally try and do these with a clean pan underneath so I can catch and squirt back on my color, and I don't have a clean tray, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and add more of that silver, actually, because I kind of like it. And more of my color, especially where I have too much white. I like the way these colors blend together, actually. I like that I'm getting a different look. I'm going to come in with some of that manipulator and see what that does as well. It should start to set it more in place. And I don't want to put a heat gun to this. I just want it to kind of be organic. So I'm going to grab my Tim Holtz squeezy ball and just give it some air manipulation. Because I don't want to heat it because I don't want it to dry too fast. So, but I do want to get it pushed up over all of these white spots. I love the variation in color I'm getting. The silver is starting to collect together a little bit, so that's good. So I'm going to set that down a minute. I kind of pushed too much air here. I'm kind of going to get the whole thing wet again, because I'm not super satisfied yet. And that is the beauty part of inks, is you can just keep working them. I'm going to come in with some more of that silver. A little bit more of that. I'm going to blow air straight at it this time and just try and keep those striations. Excuse me. The silver on this has such a wicked shimmer. It's interesting. It's behaving differently than any, it's almost like a hybrid between one of my alloys and a mixative. I want to get that spot when it comes back around. I have a couple actual white spots that I don't want. Let that close back in on its own there. This I've got to deal with now. And the beautiful part of this style of cup is you can work it literally all day long if you wanted to. I'm just giving it very small puffs of air to move it a little bit. See how it's pooled up there? That's almost like an alloy. I mean, these are actually silver. These aren't white spots. It's just interesting how it's layered itself, how it's broken up here and there, and then conformed to itself in other spots. Very much the way the alloys behave. I can't tell if that's a silver spot or not, so I'm going to let it come around again. And I think I want to do a little bit more work on the top as well. So I'm going to run a couple lines of alcohol, drip my color, put a little bit of silver in there, and then start blowing it out again. Just working on more of that depth of color. So, what I'm going to be curious about once this is dry is, are these color spots of silver going to stick? Or are they going to move? And, how the ink on the cup is going to hold up to the resin, because I am not going to seal this in any way. And I just made another blobby part again. Which is not what I wanted. So now I'm going to have to work that back out. Yep. So we're going to work this midsection one more time. Sorry about that, I had to grab a drink. So, sapphire, silver, a little bit of that bluish violet. A little air manipulation. I keep hitting the cup with the thing. And I am not going to wait long for this to dry. I am going to give it maybe 10 or 15 minutes and go at it with the resin just to see what happens. I don't believe in letting my alcohol inks sit 24 hours or spray sealing them. Just letting them dry. So, as soon as I think this is dry, I'm going to jump right in. I mean, this is all dry already. That little bit's not. But if I'm hitting it with the air and it's not moving, it's dry. So, basically down to here is already dry. This little band is not. So I will be back in just a little bit and we will put some resin on here. Okay, I love the way this dried. I think it is beautiful. I'm going to wait for one of those bigger spots of the silver to come around because I do think some of this is going to move. Yep, you can see where the color is rubbing off. That's what happens with the metallics if you don't tack them down. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but that's why they need to be sealed in. So, which is why I normally use my Ranger ink. Yep. I'll pull the bottle in a second here because I can't spit out what I'm trying to say. I have 25 milliliters of Chaos Resin Liquid Stone mixed up here. That's what I'm going to top coat it with. Look how that silver pops under the epoxy though. Everywhere there's little bits of silver. Wow. But that is one thing that people that work with alcohol inks don't seem to necessarily understand about them. And I did have a little bit of blue just open up there. I don't know if you saw that or not. It didn't hurt anything. It just got fluid for a second, just a tiny little bit. Just trying to make sure I get the bottom coated. But it is one thing people need to know when they're working with inks is that the metallics do need to be set. I'm going to grab the bottle and show it to you. The alcohol ink blending solution from Adirondack, the Ranger, Tim Holtz, whatever you want to call it. This is not strictly alcohol. People like to argue that fact that this is just alcohol and using regular alcohol will do the same thing. It is mostly alcohol, but it has a little bit of a resin in it. Not like our epoxy here we're using. I don't mean that when I say resin. But it does have a little bit of a resin in it, and that's what fixes the metallics and things in place. See where this blue is smudging? So these might have needed a longer drying time, which is fine. That's one of the things we're testing out. I mean, it's fine. It's not hurting the cup at all. I just got to not go sideways over the purple again. Unless I want to blend that blue all the way up into the purple. And I don't. So, I'm just going to use my other hand to make sure my purple is completely coated. And then I'm going to come in and torch it quick. Just to get any bubbles out because it is cold and the liquid stone really doesn't like to be mixed cold. Alright. So I'm going to pull this glove off so I don't get epoxy all over my torch. And when I torch, I stay back a couple inches and just move quick when I'm torching for bubbles. And I do know that this was extra bubbly, so it might take a couple times around. Typically I can get away with just once. Don't forget to torch my bottom. And I do think I might have a little, hair right there, so I'm going to have to take a closer look at that in a second. But yeah, I think this cup looks gorgeous. So quite pleased with these inks for this purpose. I think they blended out beautifully together. I'm watching for that to come around again. Of course, now I'm not going to be able to see it. Yep. Did I get it though? Yep. Okay. So now I'm just going to torch that again so where I pulled that hair can blend back out. All right, so that is it for this one. I'm going to bring it up so you can see it. Didn't it come out really cool? I absolutely love the way this ended up. So, thumbs up on these inks for this process as well. So far so good. Next test will be in some molds using that deeper white that it came with, but that'll be my next test for this. So thanks for watching, and I will be back with the next one.